Hello everybody. I was going to say good morning. It is good morning. I've been doing these 12:15s and now we are suddenly 11:15. So it's good morning everyone and happy Saturday. For those of you who have just finished watching the press conference as I have in Sydney, it is, it's quite surprising and shocking. We've got some more restrictions. Construction industry particularly is impacted. 3 LGAs can't leave their area. It's tougher. And I just hope it will end on the 30th of July and that'll be that. But fingers crossed for everyone. I hope you are all staying safe. And I'm really happy to be here cooking with you to perhaps give you a distraction from what's going on outside. It's a seriously windy day here in Sydney. You can probably hear it in the background, I'm not sure. But say hi to me. Good morning. Good morning everyone. Great to have you here. Where are you? Are you in Melbourne? How's Melbourne lockdown going? Day 2, I think, of 5. And I think Danny's
Good morning,
around.
everyone.
That's Danny, who's just too excited to be on the video today. You're welcome to come back and taste the shakshuka when we're done, Danny, if you like. Although he's not a shakshuka fan, I should say. So hi everybody, hope you're managing in Melbourne, in Sydney, wherever you are, in Australia, in the world. Hopefully we've got a few more from Canada and the USA today because it is a bit earlier here. And I just want to say, I just want you to acknowledge the work that I'm doing in putting on a different top every day for 6 days in a row, because all of you in lockdown, I have to tell you, are simply just wearing the same thing every day. Is this true? Am I right? Right? And none of you have got makeup on. Bet you no one's got mascara on who's watching in lockdown. But I have put on mascara and I've put on a different top every single day just so, you know, it helps the distraction, I guess. Anyway, I'm just being silly. All right. I've just realised I've forgotten to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Maybe I can do it through the watch. Because the other day, somebody called in the middle of a live session and it stopped it. And it was a bit annoying. Anyway. Not that they called, but that it stopped it. All right, so we are making shortcut shakshuka, okay? Now, shakshuka is a dish that is served in the Middle East. I have eaten it in Israel. It's available all around in many different countries, and it has different origins depending on where you're from. You might say it belongs to you or your family or your heritage. I am making one today that has no heritage at all. It is not authentic at all, but it is really bloody delicious and it just ticks so many boxes in my book. But I want to tell you, in our book, which is the second one, The Feast Goes On, we have a recipe from the gorgeous Miri Collis, and she has given us this shakshuka from her family, which she was brought up in Israel and they just ate it all the time. Now, it's a long recipe, okay? You've got to roast your green chilies, you've got to peel your tomatoes, you've got green capsicum, you roast them and then you slow cook them with garlic and olive oil and spices, and it takes a long time. It takes a couple hours. And I'm not saying you shouldn't make that one because it's amazing and the depth of flavour is huge. But sometimes we just want a shortcut. So this is what I'm doing today, closing the book, reminding you all that we made this amazing sauce on Monday. If you haven't made it or you don't know anything about it, we made the MMCC Essential Tomato Sauce on Monday. The recipe is on our Instagram, on IGTV, the whole video. The recipe is also in our 3rd book. I think it's also on the website as well. It's pretty much everywhere you look. If you make a big batch of this sauce and you freeze it in 2-cup or 4-cup portions and label it well, it's just a meal waiting to happen, right? That is what is great about this sauce. So this shortcut shakshuka uses the sauce. If you don't have the sauce, you can use bottled or store-bought pasta sauce. We're not talking passata, which has no flavour. We're not talking just tinned tomatoes. This is actually a pasta sauce. It's got onion and garlic and olive oil and tomato paste and tomatoes, and it has been slow cooked for a couple of hours, so it has a great depth of flavour. Let's talk about the ingredients we need. I'm making shakshuka for 4. If you're making it for 2 or for 1, you just have to adjust it all accordingly. It's really simple. We're going to need, for 4 people, 8 eggs. Please have your eggs at room temperature if you can. It's just better. You don't want to put a cold egg into a hot sauce. I want to put a room temperature egg in, so it just gently starts to cook. And then we're going to need some olive oil, which pretty much goes into every single savoury dish that one might cook. And then we need 3 spices. Now these are for my taste and my kids' taste. You can choose whatever you like, more or less of some, cut something out if you hate it, add something in if you love it. It's really up to you. But in three cups of tomato sauce, I'm going to suggest we use this. We've got 2 teaspoons of sweet paprika. I don't love smoked paprika. It's just not the flavour that I personally like. So I always use sweet. So 2 teaspoons of sweet paprika. So there's your capsicum from the authentic sauce. We've got half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Remember, it's really spicy, and you've got to, if you're not sure you love spice, I'd probably start with a 1/4 teaspoon. And 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. I love cumin, but not in huge quantities, and I think this is just the right amount. If you love garlic, I would actually add a couple of cloves of garlic in at this point. And then, of course, you'll need salt, and I'm using some lovely sea salt, flaky sea salt, and ground pepper. If you missed this the other day, what I said was for recipes that say half a teaspoon of ground pepper, it's really annoying to then grind and work out what half a teaspoon is. Did I say cup? Half a teaspoon of ground pepper. So what I do every few weeks is I use my spice grinder, or my coffee, it's actually a coffee grinder, to grind black peppercorns and just put them in a jar, and then I've got easily measurable black pepper. Okay, just a little black pepper tip. And then I'm going to Chargrill 2 beautiful pieces. This is Humble Sydney sourdough, which is absolutely delicious. If you haven't been to Humble Bakery in Surrey Hills, you've got to go there if you live in Sydney. They have the best finger buns in the universe, and their sourdough is outstanding. So this is from last week, probably 5 days old, and I'm going to Chargrill it in a pan. Now, let's talk about utensils for today. I'm just going to put this aside. You know, the Instagram Live area is very narrow, so I've got to fit in all my ingredients. I'm not going to put that in the saucepan yet. I'm going to show you what we need, okay? We're going to need 1 fry pan. This is for the shakshuka. It's probably 30 centimetres. I'm using a non-stick. It's a Swiss diamond. I've had it for a while. That's what I'm using. So for about 8 eggs, that's the size you're going to need. Adjust according to how many eggs you're cooking. And to Chargrill my bread, because I want black lines or brown lines on it, I'm going to use this. It's a Chargrill pan, a ridged Chargrill pan. You can use a fry pan, that's also fine. You can use a sandwich press. You can use a toaster. You can use your oven grill. We're just making toast, but we're making it with olive oil just to make it a bit more delicious. All right, let's start with the sauce. Put it on a high heat. I always start everything on a high heat just to get your pan going. And I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of olive oil into the pan. If you've just joined me, I am making a shortcut shakshuka using homemade or store-bought tomato pasta sauce, okay? I'm going to put a tablespoon of olive oil in. A bit more, a bit less, won't matter. So no need to measure that. Okay, so a tablespoon of olive oil. And what we want to do is fry off the spices. If you want to put extra garlic in, as I mentioned, get a couple of cloves now and crush them and put them in with your spices. You could even leave them whole and put them in and take them out before serving. I'm not adding extra garlic. There's enough garlic in the sauce for me, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, we're going to heat up the oil. I'm going to turn down my pan now to medium-low. Okay, because we've all burnt olive oil. Who's done that? You know, you put it on high for a minute, you run off to do something else, and then suddenly you think, something's not smelling right. It happens to me often. So turn it down now, and we're going to get our spices, and I'm just going to fry them all together, okay? So I've got my sweet paprika, my cayenne pepper, and my ground cumin. As I said, if you don't like any of those, just switch them for something else. It's really up to you. All right, how's everyone going? I'd love to know who's cooking along with me today. Hands up if you're cooking along, or send me a thumbs up. I know it's hard to cook and use your phone at the same time. Would love to know who's cooking. All right, I can smell this olive oil is starting to heat, and I'm ready to put the spices in. We're going to saute or cook off the spices for 30 seconds before we put the sauce in, okay? I would have liked it to sizzle, I'm going to be honest with you, so I'm just going to turn it up a little bit more. We want the spices to fry, okay? We want to have that little bit of going on. As soon as you hear a sizzle, it shouldn't be on too high because it'll burn in a second, all right? again, using my trusty spatula. It's wooden with a straight edge, which is really good. Okay, so I can see Debbie SR1 is watching and writing. That's good. And then you're going to cook it later, perhaps, or tomorrow for Sunday brunch. Great, Lauren's cooking. Excellent, love it. I hope that you're all being inspired by these shortcut dishes to see that if you've got a freezer full of tomato sauce, you've got meals at the ready. It's so helpful. I rely on it so often. Okay, now I've got a little sizzle happening. I've got little tiny bubbles in my oil and my spices, and they're starting to smell delicious. Okay, the smell is a giveaway that they are starting to become, they're frying well and they're becoming fragrant. Okay, so once they start bubbling and sizzling, that's all we're looking for. I'm going to add in my pepper and salt now, just because, and probably a 1/4 teaspoon of ground pepper. We could add some more later. And probably I'm going to put in a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Depends how salted well, let's start with 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We can always salt later. Just give that a stir. Really pay attention not to burn the spices. Okay, once it's well and truly sizzling and fragrant, I'm going to add my sauce. I've got 3 cups of sauce. Like that. That's exactly what I want to happen. Okay. Now my sauce is very thick. Yours may not be. So what you need to do is just cook this for a few minutes to get that extra liquid evaporated. We want this to be thick, okay? It has to hold an egg in it, this sauce. I should have really explained, actually, in the beginning, and I'm sorry I didn't, that shakshuka is a tomato-based sauce that you cook your eggs in. So we're going to make little indentations and we're going to cook our eggs in the sauce. It's remiss of me not to have done that at the beginning, because some of you may be following along and going, what the hell is shakshuka? Sorry. Okay. So mix it well. You can see the spices make the tomato take on a really beautiful dark colour. Any questions, please ask. Please type away. I can read and cook at the same time. I'm getting a little bit better at doing that. Some comments I do miss, I'm sorry, because I'm looking down, but I'm going to try. So anything to say, please let me know. Anything you like, anything you don't like. How's it going? All right. I'm just going to cook this for a few minutes, and let's talk about the bread for a sec. So, sorry, what we're trying to do is just get the spices and the tomatoes to sort of meld together and become really like a sauce. You know, I say often, and I'm sorry if you've heard it before, that when you put stuff in a fry pan or a saucepan, you're making a sauce, whether it's tomato or bolognese or anything, or a soup, when they first go in, they're just like a bunch of separate ingredients that don't connect. And then after time and heat and being together, they become a sauce. They become one thing. And that's what we're looking for. And sometimes you can just taste it in the beginning. You go, nah, it tastes like tomato with some spices. And then you taste it again 5 minutes later and you say, that's a really good sauce. So let's have a taste and see how we're going. And this is where your taste comes into it. To me, that needs quite a bit more salt. The spices are good. I can taste everything. It's quite spicy with 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne in there. But to me, it needs quite a bit more salt. And remember, we're putting eggs in, which of course need salt desperately. All right, so let's just keep cooking that. Taste again. And you decide if you want to add more spice, if you want to add more salt or pepper, okay? How are we going? Someone give me a thumbs up or an anything just to tell me that you're there and that you're cooking or watching. Okay, here we go. You know what? You're not going to believe it. I think it still needs more salt. Sometimes my sauce is undersalted, so this is where you've got to correct that at this point. So I want your shakshuka sauce to be so delicious that you take a spoon of it and just go, oh, I love this. I want to dive into this, okay? That's how much I want you to love this sauce. Now, if we had lots and lots of time this morning, I would like to cook this for at least 10 minutes, okay? But I know there are people watching, like my friend Greg, for example, who's really hungry. He didn't have breakfast and he's waiting to cook this and eat it for breakfast. So the longer I talk and don't cook it, the hungrier he's getting. And I feel a bit bad for him. So I did bump into him this morning on our dog walk. So, you know, I feel bad. Sorry, Greg. I am getting there, okay? Let's see. We want to get this right, though, don't we? Nearly there. Okay, I'm just going to keep cooking. The eggs are going to take between 5 and 12 minutes, depending on how you want them cooked, okay? Maybe 7 and 12 minutes. So we're going to put the eggs in a minute. We're just going to get the sauce going, and we're going to talk about the bread. I've cut the bread quite thickly on purpose because I want it to be a slow toast, okay? I'm going to get some olive oil. If you've got olive oil spray and you're feeling a bit lazy, you can just spray your bread, and that's really quick and easy. Otherwise, what you need to do is get a brush or a plate. You don't even need a brush. You would get a plate. You know what will I do? I'm going to get a brush. Okay, we're going to put some olive oil into a glass, which I'll show you in one sec. Put your Chargrill pan or your fry pan on high heat. Get your brush. I'm just going to come around and touch the phone and see there's something going on here with my phone. Just bear with me for a minute. Okay. For some reason, it has stopped. The chat has stopped moving up, and I just don't know why. Would anyone know why that would happen? Anyway, I'm sorry, I can't see your comments because they just seem to be stuck there and they've stopped moving. So, I don't know, hopefully that'll correct itself shortly. Okay, glass. And I thought no one was talking to me, but actually I just can't see it. Okay, get your bread and your brush with some oil, and you're going to brush it all over, just like that, okay? Be generous with the oil. The more oil you use on this, the better it's going to be. I'm not going to lie to you, like that one. Okay, so oil your bread. Again, you could put your oil on a plate and smear it in. You could spray it with the olive oil spray, whichever you like, okay? So I've covered both sides of the bread very, very well. And use a good quality sourdough if you have it. Honestly, there's nothing like it at all. Okay, so Jojo Gleason said she loves the sauce but only made 8.5 cups. Should I have added water? It should really make, I'm just going to give this a stir, it should really make that batch we did at least 10.5 cups. So perhaps yours is a little bit thick. That's all I can think, because it's pretty, the ingredients are all the same. There's no, arbitrary things that could go in or make it less or more. So I think it should be at least, mine was just 12 cups, probably 11.5 cups. So yeah, add a bit of water and mix it, and that should be fine. Hope that helps. Okay. All right, I'm going to just brush the other piece. This Chargrill pan is getting hot under my elbow. I'm just brushing. Remember, be generous, please, with your oil. It really makes it delicious. And we are in lockdown, most of us, so you know what? We know what we love to do in lockdown, don't we? Eat more. It's so good. That is the best part of lockdown to me. Don't know why. Real life doesn't have that freedom, but lockdown does. Can someone explain that to me? Okay, I'm going to turn this down to low now. My sauce smells ready. My Chargrill pan is on high. It's not ready. I want it to sizzle when I put it in, okay? So I'm not putting my bread in just yet. Let's have another taste of the sauce. Everyone do the same, please. My sauce is nice and thick. I'm going to put on the hideous light for a minute so you can see. I'll leave that on. My sauce is thick. Okay, I want the sauce to be... Yeah, that's good. I can't believe I'm still adding a bit more salt. Just a tiny bit. And then it's great. Very happy with that. Okay, sauce is ready. You can see, nice and thick. There's very little water in there. There's a bit of oil from the oil I put in, which is good. And we're going to put our eggs in now. So the way we're going to do that...
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
I wasn't talking to you, Siri. Okay, this is before I get to the eggs. I'm going to put the toast
I understand.
See, I'm going to put my toast on my pan. Can you see that? Danny, can I have a hand for a sec? Can you come and do something for me? I need his help. I know. I don't ask it very often. I've put it on. It's on high, but I'm going to now turn it down to medium low because I don't want it to go too fast. Can you just go to the phone and just swipe up? See gently the bottom comments. I can't see them for some reason. They're not swiping up. Do you see? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay. Thanks, Danny. Okay, so let's talk eggs. I want to get rid of that oil. I want to put them into the sauce, and you could, of course, just crack them in, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but I find that a bit hard because you sort of miss. So what I'm going to do is put each one into a glass. So take your first egg into a glass, and you make an indentation, can you see, with your spatula. We're going to make 8, so just sort of space out 8. They're going to come together, just so you've got an idea, perhaps 1 in the middle and 7 around the outside, and just pop it in, the indentation, just like that, okay? And we're just going to continue to do that with all the eggs, okay? Egg number 2, again, indentation, egg in. And we'll just keep going round till we've done all of them. It takes, you know, it doesn't take a lot of time, but just step by step, let's do it carefully. Okay, how's everyone going? Okay, I missed that comment. Okay, we're moving up again. I think it's all back together. Good. Don't know what happened. It's very strange because normally it's like a ticker tape. It just keeps moving up, but it just froze. Oh, maybe the whole thing froze. I wonder that. Yeah. Okay, we're back together. Yeah, I wonder if that was me freezing. Perhaps it was. It's really windy here, so it wouldn't surprise me if there's some NBN issue. There's usually an NBN issue. I'm just going to have a peek under my toast. And it's starting to go light golden. I want it way more than that, so let that just continue. Again, another egg. Okay, how are we going? Good. Good morning, Cares. Good to see you. Hope we're all back. Hope you didn't miss all of that. If you did, let me know what you missed and I'll go over it again. But I'm just now putting the eggs in. I need to make 8 little spaces, or as many as you've got, into here, okay? Greg, your breakfast is nearly ready, okay? We've still got a little way to go because the eggs have to cook. I'm putting one in the middle, and it doesn't matter if the whites mix a bit, you'll see they'll sort themselves out, okay? I'm going to turn this up just a tiny bit, and I've got 3 more eggs to fit in there. Good morning, Esther. That's my sister Esther in Melbourne. How's lockdown going? Such a drag, isn't it? Such a drag. All right, here we go. Shakshuka egg number 6, and I got 2 more to put in. You see that one from my angle? It looks like a little heart, that yolk. It's very cute. Greg is salivating. I'm so happy. You must be starving. I mean, I did tell you you'd have breakfast in 10 minutes, so I didn't exactly lie, but it's not really quite 10, is it? I did tell him that I was going to chat a bit, so... Okay, egg number 7. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1 more. Where's my glass? Here we go. Okay, how are we going? Who's cooking along? Now I can see you, and now you're with me, all of you. So can you tell me who is cooking? Who is cracking their eggs in at the moment? And egg number 8. Okay? That's it. We are done with the shakshuka cooking. I want to turn it up to sort of medium because we need to cook them. And the best thing to do, you can do without a lid. It will take longer. And I'm going to put a lid on because I think we need a lid. I've got to find a lid that's the right size though. I've got one here. Sorry for this. Okay. So, lid on. Okay. As the lid goes on, it's going to help cook them from both ends. It's going to sort of steam them as well as being poached from underneath in the liquid. So that's going to take a few minutes, and obviously the whites are going to cook first, and I think that they are ready to eat. As soon as the whites are solid, and you can stick a fork in a minute to see, then they're ready to eat. But we'll come to that in a minute. I think we'll just leave them. Better if I don't lift the lid because we need that heat from top and the steam from bottom and steam from the top. Okay. So, question. Yeah, Thali Agil. It's very hard because everyone's got these usernames and I don't know if they're their names or not. So I don't know if that's your name. But anyway, is that a red sauce? Is it in the book? It is in the book. It is in It's Always About the Food. It's called the MMCC Essential Tomato Sauce, and I made it on IGTV on Monday. So you can also find it on IGTV and our Instagram. And we've been using that sauce all week in lots of recipes. Last night we made spinach and ricotta gnudi. The day before we made spiced chickpea soup. The day before we made a pasta with bocconcini and artichokes, and we made the tomato sauce. And of course we made a little cinnamon cake on Tuesday just to break it up. Arlanga, would I bake it in the oven? You know what, I just don't think there's any need to. You could, but there's just no need to because it only takes a few minutes. Yeah, I mean you could, but sort of why turn the oven on unless it's on anyway. Let's have a little peek now because I can see that the whites are starting to cook, and I'm going to take this off once the whites are cooked, okay? I think I'm just going to let that keep going. Let's look at our toast. We've got our toast on. I didn't make the sourdough, somebody asked. I bought it from Humble Bakery. I'm not a sourdough maker. Okay, so I'm going to turn this up now because it's not cooking fast enough, the toast. So the eggs are on, steaming, poaching away. The toast is on Chargrilling, and I want to talk about how you'd serve this because what we love to do in our family is get a board like this. This is a nice round board, but you can get any chopping board that you have that's wooden. Put it on the table and then take your pan to the table and put it directly on it, and everyone can serve themselves from the pan. Just take care, and this is one of my biggest gripes with my family, is that if you're using a really nice non-stick pan, please don't put a metal implement for them to serve themselves with, because you know, I see in my family all the time, like, people come to my non-stick pots with a metal spoon to taste the sauce. And I'm like, across the kitchen going, no! You know what I mean? So, no, it's just a disaster. So, be careful. Could you use challah instead of sourdough? Of course you could. Why not? Challah is delicious toasted. But I would be reluctant to do it like this. Challah's got a lot of sugar in it and burns really quickly. So, I would just toast it in a toaster and then butter it, okay? Because challah and butter just go together like, you know, they're just a marriage made in heaven. Okay, how's our toast going? I'm going to turn it up. Okay, so I've talked about how we serve it. I've talked about how these eggs are going, and the whites are starting to cook. As I said, if you do it without the lid, that's fine. It just takes a bit longer, okay? But you do get a bit of steam, which I don't like. So you've got to sort of lift it off every few minutes just to get that steam away. It's looking lovely though. And you can imagine, and you'll see, that the sauce just continues to get richer as it continues to cook, which is what we want. Flavour, flavour, flavour. Okay, so what am I going to serve it with at the table? Well, this is the issue. Because, honestly, there are no really attractive non-stick implements, I have to say. Someone needs to make nice ones. So my choices are these. My choices are these. So I'll probably serve it with a little spatula and a spoon at the table with the board, okay? There's really no other choice with that. Okay, how are we going? Still a couple minutes away from that being ready. Greg, how are you going? Is yours ready? Maybe you got ahead of me and you're ready to eat yours. I feel bad that I'm keeping you so long, Greg, and you're going to be so hungry. All right, how's this going? I'm going to turn this up some more. That is not quite what I want. I'm going very slowly with this toast. But what I want is a really charred, crunchy outside and a soft inside. And this sourdough, as I said, this Humble one is next level amazingness, really is. We've been lucky in Sydney over the years. You know, we had Iggy's for a long time, but then they stopped baking on weekends. Of course, we've got Pioke Bakery in, what's the suburb, Danny?
Wow.
Near Foxtel and the casino, where Pioke Bakery is. Sort of glebe, but not. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the suburb. That's a great bakery as well. What else? Sourdough wise, and of course, you know, Sonoma local is also very good. Greg said looks almost as good as ours. I'm so happy. Are your eggs cooked yet? Now, you got to beware. Are you a hard egg person or a soft egg person? Because if you're a hard egg person, then you're going to have to cook this for 15 minutes. Piedmont. Thank you, Safta Ora. It's in Piedmont. That's the suburb I was looking for. Pioke Bakery in Piedmont. Amazing also. Really good bread. Okay, so I'm watching with my 3-year-old and he pointed to your pan and sniffed, saying, I smell something. I smell it too. I'm so happy the smell-o-vision is working that I've installed on this IGTV. It's about time. Okay, so we're starting to get there. That's starting to get a nice char. If you find it's not cooking evenly, you can just press down on the bit that's not cooking. Okay? I'm sort of trying to time it so that my toast and my eggs are ready at the same time. Okay? All right, this is looking great. My whites are cooked, okay? My whites are ready. We're getting there, people. Esther says in Melbourne, Baker Blue, make fantastic sourdough. Thank you. That's great. Yes, all our videos are available on our IGTV. You go to your Instagram, there's a little TV icon in the middle of the icons. Click on that, that's all of them. You'll see me, of course, in a different top every day this week. Yeah, I'm still thinking about that because no one else did. That's okay. So Greg's got 1 hard egg and 2 soft. Well, Greg, I have to say, then it must have been unevenly on the stove because mine are now ready. Greg. Mine is perfectly ready now for me. We don't like super runny eggs, some of our family. I'm going to show you what it looks like on the board. Oh, forgot to turn this. Okay, so my eggs are ready. Done. When you serve it on your plate, you'll take some sauce. I'm actually going to use that other implement that I did get out. You're going to get some sauce and the egg like this, and that's how you're going to eat it on your plate. And then hopefully what you'll do is put it on your toast. Can you see the toast? I'm going to do it in here just to show you. And then you're going to crack your egg, and you want it to be soft and runny if you want it to be soft and runny, or this is just that perfect, just cooked yellow that some people in this family love. Oh, this is smoking a bit. Let me turn that down. So that's shakshuka. Hopefully your eggs are cooked perfectly to your liking. Remember, take them off the stove a little bit earlier than when they're 100% ready, because by the time you put it on the table and get to there with your toast, they're going to continue to cook, okay? So please take them out a little bit before they're ready. Perhaps I should have said that in the beginning. This is ready for me. I don't know about you, but I'm happy to start eating that. It is very hot though. So that's it from me for today. I hope you have a good Saturday and stay safe, everyone. This is Shakshuka Eggs, shortcut Shakshuka, made with the tomato sauce that we made on Monday, the MMCC Essential Tomato Sauce, which is in our 3rd book, or on the website, or on IGTV. It's pretty much everywhere. Got a new plan for next week coming out tonight. It'll be on our Instagram and Facebook, and it's really exciting, and I am really excited about it. We're starting on Monday. I'm having tomorrow off where I'm going to stay in the same clothes that I'm going to wear all weekend, and no one will know. And I'm very, very much looking forward to cooking with you all. Next week, it's going to be at 11:30. So we're going to watch the press conferences at 11 and then meet up at 11:30 every day next week, Monday to Saturday. I've got some special guests coming along, which I'm very excited about. Look, I'll tell you now because you're going to find out later. Anyway, I've got Michael Rantisi, amazing chef from Kepos Street Kitchen, coming to join me on Wednesday. And I've got Ilan Kidron, singer, songwriter, frontman, superstar, coming to sing a few tunes with me when I make Egg and Onion on Friday. The theme of the week is bread and dips, and I really hope that you'll join me. And I'm also doing something fabulous for the Sydney Jewish Writers Festival on Thursday with this wonderful, wonderful lady from America. Her name is Marcia Friedman, and she's an Italian Jewish girl who's got a great story to tell and beautiful recipes. So lots on next week to keep you all entertained and distracted during this blah lockdown. Sending lots of love to you. Hope you keep safe and well, and stay home and keep cooking. Bye all.